Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my spiritual GPS. This is your host, Vivian S. de Guzman. I am the #1 money magnet activator, and I happen to be also a human MRI. So I'm a business and medical intuitive. So our show is designed to give you clarity, calmness, confidence, and direction in your life so that wherever you are in your life at this time, because that's what GPS is, right? It's like your GPS in your car. It gives you a sense of purpose or direction where you're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, you can be running around in circles. So there are 3 points to this GPS. Just think about where you are right now. That's 1 point. The 3rd point is where you're headed. What is your soul purpose? And when do we align to that soul purpose? Because when we are in that magic of mind, body, spirit alignment, we actually feel amazing. And money comes to us with ease, grace, and flow. And the 2nd point is, what are the baggages? What are the things that's holding us back from actually lining up to our soul purpose? And so today I would be giving you some empowered money breakthroughs that would really guide you in your life to help you get to where you need to go. And some people think it takes forever to find their soul purpose, when in reality, your soul purpose finds you when you're ready. So if your life is going well, congratulations. And I know for those of you who hold that higher vibrational frequency, you're able to help so many more people, because then money comes to you with ease, grace, and flow. You just attract that like bees to honey, and you have great health, and you want to share your knowledge with other people as well regarding that. And you have excellent relationships, not only with others, but most importantly, you have excellent relationship with yourself. So we have this physical body as a container, and it gives us this ability to feel what's going on around us. It's such a magical vehicle, if you think about that, about life, that God created this specific body, not to be ignored, but actually to be honored, to be respected. It's our vessel. And it gives us the ability to feel. Our mind allows us to think, and we get to make decisions, right? And by the way, there are always choices. I just want to share with you that concept. And as long as you're coming from a good place, like you feel good, it is called empowered, because you're not giving away your power to anyone else. How do we do that? When we do things that are not really good for us, right? Like we don't feel good, but we say yes because we were conditioned to say yes. So my question to you is this: havingness. Okay, the definition of havingness is, how much goodness can you receive? How much can you receive? That's the question. Your ability to have is dependent on several factors. So factors affecting your havingness may be karma. Now there's 3 different types of karma. You have your direct karma, like most relationships are karmic. In other words, we find our spouse, our children choose us for a reason because of karma. We have some lessons to learn with each other, and that's how we grow. Those discomfort, those negative emotions and thoughts and behaviors that happen within that family dynamic, there's a reason for that, right? And when we learn and overcome and learn and shift different ways of doing things, that it's actually lighter, because truth is very light. And when you're given a falsehood, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel good. And that's your body will give you that barometer. Now, another factor affecting your havingness is based on your past history, or some people call it past lives. So the reason why spiritual people say, let's not judge each other, let's not criticize or blame one another. You know, when you go to church or go to a religious function or any kind of community gathering, they tell you not to judge one another. But it's interesting that we have those conditioned judgments about one another, partly because our soul remembers all these things that we've done in the past. You may be a good person in this lifetime, but in another lifetime, you may have done some not so nice things with one another. And for you to go from one aspect to the other aspect is for you to experience what that feels like when you're on the opposite side of the spectrum. We may have fear. There are only two basic fears, okay? The fear of falling and the fear of loud sounds, and everything else we've manufactured. That's the truth. And then limitations, right? Because when perhaps your parents and the people who helped raise you, they had so many limitations in life. It could be, again, their own story and their own way of being. And when they share that with us, because we didn't know any better when we were kids, we just assimilated and assumed that that was normal. And then we start owning the same fears and limitations that they have. Now, the number one thing that I know that is affecting a person's havingness is that lack of alignment. So when you think of mind, body, spirit, right? Your lack of alignment to your soul purpose is all of us have a different purpose, right? Like God gave it to us for a reason. So as you notice, we're not all the same. Some of us are teachers. Some of us are like queens. Some of us are leaders. Some of us are followers. So all of us have a different purpose. And when you know your soul purpose, it just feels amazing and magical. That's what I can tell you. Now, some of you may have learned different tools on how to align with your soul purpose. So it could be human design. We utilize that tool a lot. It could be like your scientific hand analysis. It could be your astrology. It could be just passed on to you from generation to generation. It is your purpose. And when you're doing what you love, again, money comes to you with ease, grace, and flow. You just have great relationships. You're always happy and you're always fulfilled. That's what it's like. So you may have negative self-talk or some belief systems, again, that you've accumulated over the years. And boundary issues. You know how boundary issues means when you say yes to yourself, it means you're saying no to someone else, right? That's what it means. What's good for you may not be good for others, and what's good for others may not be good for you. It's as simple as that, because we're in different phases in our lives. So just to touch base a little bit on the types of boundaries we have, you remember the rainbow colors, like rainbow in the sky? So all of us have this energetic boundary. It's kind of like an invisible force shield, like force field in our body that protects us from the different elements. Now, if your parents raised you up and they know exactly how to just let you be, right? They didn't give you too many limitations, so to speak, and you're allowed to explore and grow from that curiosity. Usually you have a healthy, healthy self-esteem. You know who you are. You're very confident. Now, if it so happened that when we were growing up, there were so many programs and so many hardships, you were exposed to so much trauma. Again, that's the life lesson you wanted to learn in this lifetime. Again, nothing wrong with that. It was a choice because unconsciously we've chosen this body, we've chosen this family to learn a lot out of that. When you can shift and create or even learn some tools to help you become capable, your energetic boundaries really start getting firm. The normal boundary is firm yet flexible. In other words, you can allow interaction, you can allow exchanges to happen, and you're able to move with the flow, okay? You're not so rigid. So there are 4 energetic boundaries. The physical allows us to really feel safe, right? Safe. How do we feel safe? When we're young, if your parents took care of you, gave you a lot of good touch, you feel safe, right? So money issues, survival issues, health issues usually are found in your physical energetic boundary. Now, emotionally, that's a different story. the second layer, right? So you see me wearing red, that's the physical boundary, okay? That represents money. That's why the Chinese think of, red envelopes when they do this Chinese New Year and they give gifts. So emotional boundary is orange and yellow. So if you are able to express your emotions with ease, and people don't judge you for like crying if ever you're not feeling good or you're upset, or maybe you're sad, or laughing, like you can just laugh. It's all good, right? Because you're happy. So we can all go through different ranges of emotions, and we're supposed to feel. That's how we heal. But if that is suppressed, like something happened and somebody told you to shut up, don't say anything, or don't even cry right now because I don't have time for that, right? When that's the case, sometimes the holes are created in our emotional boundary. And we feel like we need to please someone in order for us to be loved or to be liked. So then that's when we give away our power because we want them to feel good. So for example, if you're a little kid and then your mother is having a hard time and she's not having a good day, and then you're just told to just be quiet, go away. So if you're like tippy-toeing like on eggshells and you don't even know how to act or behave a certain way that day. But if it's repeated multiple times, you can see how that could affect your emotional boundary because you have to make the other person feel good so that you can actually be safe. Does that make sense? So that's emotional and emotional boundary. Relational boundary is basically our relationship with ourselves and with other people. That's the green and blue boundary. And as we go through life, we encounter different kinds of people with different kinds of thought process and different moods, right? And obviously the last one is spiritual boundary, and these are pretty the heavy hitters in our community, right? So anything we've learned in any institution, churches, religion, even the ancestral genes of our mother. If we're very, very sensitive to energy, while we're in our mother's womb, we feel all sorts of things. And when we assimilate and we assume like, well, I guess that's normal, so I have to believe that that's true, that changes a lot of things in people and it distorts our boundary. So one of the viewers one time asked me, like, why do we have to fix this boundary? Why do we have to be aware of these things? Because if you don't have any clothes on and you go out in the cold, it's very chilly. There's no protection. So this energetic boundaries serve as protection. And if it's not healthy, right, it's full of holes or cracks, or it's kind of fractured or bent a certain way, every time you interact with other people, especially when it comes to money, because money is in all of these boundaries. All the money stories you have is contained in all of these energetic boundaries. Just think about it. If you are in recurring debt, bankruptcy, it's just you're working so hard, yet nothing comes to you at all, like it's hard for you to receive. How can you receive if the container you have, the red boundary, has a lot of holes and all the other boundaries have a lot of holes? So whatever you receive, it could be blessings, like one day you feel good and then the next day you don't feel good. So if we fix the energetic boundary leaks, and then energetics is like a switch that you can turn on, and then you'll notice physically in your external world, everything starts to get better. Everything starts to change and shift. People treat you differently. That's exactly what happens when you start the energetics of it. Like literally it is. All right, so these are some of the empowered money breakthroughs that you really need to know, because when you know them and when you really put them into practice, it's going to work. Okay, so the first thing is know what you want or desire, meaning you have to decide to take care of you first. That means when you're calm, you're clear, and you're confident, what would happen is pretty much you don't have to please anyone because you feel good by yourself. So a lot of times we forget to be quiet. We forget to be still. We are called human beings for a reason. We are not human doings. Yet when you look at everyone's schedule, we have a to-do list. So even for me, when my mind is overactive, the first thing I do is meditate or walk around nature, around my neighborhood, or just stand still. So everybody, let's try this. I want to share with you this tool because I think you're going to love it. So everyone stand up, and I want you to move your feet like toeing in. So your big toes are actually towards one another. And then your hands, they kind of look like this, but they're on the sides of your hips. So your elbows look like that, right? So I want you to just stand up tall. So I learned this from a Qigong master when one of my clients and I, we went to Palm Springs and we had an amazing retreat just to unplug from the chaos, right, of daily activity. So if you stand up like so, right, feet toed in, and your hands are on the side, let's all put the tip of our tongue at the roof of our mouth. So let's just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath as if you're bringing water from the earth, and you're going to bring it all the way to the top of your head, and then allow the same energy to come down in front of you, like the water comes down, and it becomes this bright red energy from your heart, belly, and pubic bones. Okay, again, take a deep breath in and release. Take a deep breath in and release. So notice your feet. Just want you to notice your feet. Take a deep breath in again. Are they even? Are they level? And then release. Okay, now breathe in blue and red, but this time we're going to combine a little bit of movement because some of you are kinesthetic and you wanted to just feel how your body is feeling. So if you haven't been in touch with your body tells us everything, by the way. It tells you what you're feeling. Are you feeling level? Meaning to say your right and left side, are they even? Is the top of your head open, or does it feel like there's like a block or a ceiling or something there on top? If you do feel a ceiling, you are also going to have a money ceiling. Simple, right? So again, take a deep breath in and just let it be. Observe without doing anything. You're just breathing up and down your spine, and you just want to feel what it's like if you're just standing and feeling your body. And release. So if you do this for like a good 10 or 15 minutes in the morning, you're going to feel balanced before you start your day. And what would happen if the right side of your body, which is your male side, and the left side of your body, which is your female side, is actually balanced? Obviously, your logical brain and your emotional brain will also be balanced. So those are the side effects of you taking care of yourself, okay? So when you take a deep breath, I want you to really lengthen your spine. And then when you exhale, I want you to squat down a little bit, like you're moving your body now. Okay, take a deep breath again and inhale and straighten up your knees. And exhale and release. Okay, this time we're going to move our hands like up and down like this. Like remember in Karate Kid, it's like wax on, wax off. As if you're painting a wall in front of you, okay? So everybody stand up again, and we're going to inhale and breathe in red, lifting our arms, stretching up, and then exhale and breathe out. Sorry, I said breathe out, breathe in red, right? So breathe in blue and breathe out red. Breathe in blue, straighten everything, including your arms, way up, and breathe out red. Good. Now let's do it sideways. Breathe in blue and breathe out red. Two more. Breathe in blue. Breathe out red. Yep, my shoulder just popped. One more time. Breathe in blue and breathe out red. Okay, so put your hands together like a prayer position. Again, still your feet toed in, and just let's breathe 3 more times. Just breathing in blue and blue, like the waves of the ocean. And release. 2 more times. Breathe in blue all the way to your head. Breathe out blue. 1 more time. Breathe in blue. Breathe out blue. Okay. That probably made you feel good, right? So now when I ask you again, what do you really want to accomplish today, right? So you're not going to have your 8 lists, because it might be you just need to accomplish 2 most important things, and you don't need to overstretch yourself. A lot of times when we're trying so much to accomplish so many things, it could be we don't delegate, or we have this fear of delegating because we fear losing control. I know even for me, in the beginning when I was doing business ownership and entrepreneurship, right? When you realize that you can stay in your own genius zone and really just do what you do best and delegate everything else, then your life would be so much simpler, okay? And sometimes it's just because we're not exposed to that thought process. So we want to be mindful. We want to be mindful of our thoughts, our words, our actions, and results. And by the way, this is how they flow. What is your thought when you have a to-do list that's like 8 to 10 pages long? Most likely your thought is, oh my God, I got to get things done. I'm never going to finish all of this. So why did you even write it down to begin with? Right? So think about this. Give yourself some kindness and compassion and say, perhaps I will promise myself to do 2 or 3 things a day. I will make 3 major decisions a day. I was reading this book by, it's called The Hard Work Myth. And there was a story on the Amazon CEO and how he realized that when people work so hard, he really hasn't seen people succeed and sustain that level of success by stressing themselves out and just being a human doing, right? Like to-do list, endless to-do list, and he just became exhausted. So when he realized that he can make 3 major decisions per day, finding the best time that he can do them, and everything else can wait. So it's not an emergency. And our lives look like it's always an emergency because we don't give ourselves enough space and time in between what we want to do. So it's, again, prioritizing and learning. And I've learned this over the years, obviously, because if it didn't work and it's causing me stress, I guess I need to change that, right? But some of us, we don't worry about that. And when we have a disease or a stroke, a cancer, or some kind of a devastating diagnosis, that's the only time we actually like be quiet and reassess what we're doing. So you have to think of the thought that's causing you to say things. So any kind of uncertainty, like I'll try, maybe, I really don't know. Okay, those words put obstacles in your money flow. Just think about it. When you tell someone, yeah, I'll try to make it, you really meant you're not gonna do it anyway. So just don't say those words. Delete them from your vocabulary. I'll try. I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. I can't do that. Okay, so delete, 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 delete. Okay, so that your actions actually bring you more certainty. Think of the successful people. They're decisive, they're creative, they're happy, they're in the flow. Do you have to have a lot of money to be in that state? No. You can have whatever money you have right now and actually start feeling all those feelings inside. And that's my aha moment. I was observing one time how successful people work. And there's a few of them, right? And they come in different varieties. Some are super successful, but they don't have time. I go, nope, that's not for me. And some are super successful, but then they delegate. Okay, so find the people that you like. Like, I think I like that lifestyle, right? Observe and then put it down, journal about that. And again, you're going to have to review your thoughts, because the programs, meaning to say words that were repeated to you over and over again that you thought was truthful, because that's how we create reality. If you already say that you think that the world is bad, well, bad people are going to show up everywhere because you think so, right? But if you start thinking that perhaps I can shift that thought, and you can experiment on this. You can have 2 cups of water, clear, and you can post a positive something to 1 glass of water, and you can post a negative thought on the other glass of water. Just do that for 7 days. And you can even talk to the positive side of the water, positive things, and you can say negative things to the other glass, and let's see what happens. The sound of your voice, the positivity and the negativity affects one another. Therefore, even if you're positive, but you're surrounded by people in your life that are very negative, or you have so much clutter all around you, that will affect your money flow as well. So please pay attention, because one little thing won't bother you, but if you add up all these negative things, it will definitely affect you one way or the other. The number 2 empowered money breakthrough is to align your mind, body, spirit with your soul purpose. Now, a while ago, I mentioned human design, scientific hand analysis, and if you need some resources, please feel free to connect with me. You can email me at vivian@feelbetterrehab.com, and I would be happy to share those beautiful people in our lives that support us in many ways, my team and also my clients. So aligning yourself to your soul purpose, to your design, like I'm a generator with an emotional authority. That means I have a lot of energy, but I have to wait to respond. I can't be doing too many things, because if you have so much energy, sometimes, you just say yes to every single project. So in my early years, I have been doing that a lot. And then I realize I get tired or I get frustrated. When I'm frustrated, that means I am not in the flow, because I'm in that negative emotion, right? And frustration is another version of anger. That just means my boundary had been violated. That's just part of that, right? So when your emotions, the negative emotions in a way are good, because it tells you to shift. It tells you to do it differently, okay? So when you're aligned and with emotional authority, I have to really ride the wave, so to speak. I can't make decisions when I'm up high or down low. I have to be like as calm as the waves of the beach, like calm, rhythmic flow. When I'm in that space, that's the best time for me to make decisions. So honoring my design, that's how I need to make decisions. So decisions are not from the head. It's not from the mind, because when you decide from the mind, it's not coming from higher spirit. It's not coming from higher source. So you normally just make the wrong choices and then you regret it later. So whatever your design is, you need to know what that is, okay? And then the third one is the law of income. So I want you to listen to this intently. You will be paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver to the marketplace. And this was from a book that I read called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. So I'll say it again. The law of income states you will be paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver to the marketplace. So if I ask you this question, how much do you value your time, your energy, and your skills? So a lot of the healers out there, I notice that they take so many classes, they get certified, they get good, they practice with clients, with their relatives and non-relatives, and then when it's time for the client to ask them, how much do you charge or how much is the session, they didn't even have an agreement before the session began, okay? So it's like they're hiding behind the skill. So if you don't value what you paid to the other people or teachers that actually helped you learn these skills, what are you saying to the person who received? And I've noticed this a lot, right? It's not like the people that are receiving a lot of free gifts and a lot of free healing, do you notice their pattern somehow repeats itself? Because they're not asked to show up for the better version of who they are. So when you're doing a monetary exchange, you're asking the other person something of them. It could be an accountability, right? It could be their sense of responsibility to what a higher frequency would look like. So when there's no exchange, what happens is there's no need to change. There's no need to change. And if you don't value your time, so you're giving the healing, what could you be doing aside from that? If you say your value is family, but you're not spending time with your family, then you're really not honoring your value. So eventually you get upset. When we get angry with ourselves for not listening to our higher self and our higher guidance. Is it uncomfortable to charge? Initially, yes, especially if you're not used to receiving. Remember the first question that I posted? Havingness is your ability to receive. How much goodness can you receive? How much non-goodness can you receive, right? So when you start to become neutral to the energies moving through you, and you'll learn how to set up good boundaries for yourself and also for your clients. Because whatever action you put out there, you are teaching the universe how to treat you. Every single action you put out there, you are teaching the universe how to treat you. We're kind of deep today, huh? And then the last is, do you focus on opportunities or obstacles and limitations? So obviously with energy work, when you realize that the root cause of your problem is not really what it is, and you can eliminate, right? You can eliminate that obstacle, because obviously if that obstacle is causing you some bodily issues or relationship issues or money issues, then you need to know what that is, clear it, and then move forward. Always the next step. All right? Okay, so those are my empowered money breakthroughs for now. I hope that served you well. And now I am ready to answer questions, or if you want to get to the root cause of maybe what is this obstacle that's stopping you from really moving into your goal. So it could be a money question, and we know that money, health, and relationships are interrelated. So what would that be? So go ahead. I'm going to bring on Amy. All right, here we go. Oh, I think we lost Amy. So I'm gonna read what's on the comment, right? One comment says, I keep obsessing over one way to have income and it makes me feel disappointed. Okay, so good. Find in your body, remember our body is our barometer, okay? Find where you feel that disappointment. Because it's like rushing the money to come in, right? So remember, the money is always there if you're in the flow, because flow means you're connecting to God. Your vehicle is your body, and then you're connected to earth because you live here, right? So where do you feel that? I think that's Sarah, in your body. So go ahead and type it in the chat. They don't understand, Shifra. You said, I'm going to do the water. Okay. Okay. Sarah said, in the sacral area. Okay, Sarah. So my suggestion to you is go ahead, take a deep breath. So the sacral area is the emotional portion of the body, right? That's where we store our emotions. We call that the emotional bowl or the pelvic bowl. So as you wash your sacral area, you can use like the golden swishing energy to help with your emotional chakra. And not even that, but just the anatomy of it, right? Like you have some old stories there. It could be sexual stories, disappointments in men. So let's breathe that out. So when you have disappointments in people, relationships, your relationship in the past, and you haven't quite forgiven yourself because you have allowed that to happen. Remember, that's part of the journey though, right? You were in the student path when that was happening. And now that you realize that you have raised your standards, so it's like this. If you entered a building and you were in the first floor, and suddenly after all these clearings and healings and these aha moments, and you lining up with your design and soul purpose, you found yourself now on the seventh floor, and you're like looking down. Again, you're doing judgment. So you have to clear your old judgments of yourself, history and memory of the old judgments with your younger version of you. Because as soon as you clear that, right? When someone is having a bad relationship, so to speak, you look at them and you don't say, I wish I knew, I could tell you everything, like stop dating that man. You can't do that to that person because they're going through their change and their lessons and their journey, right? So go ahead and release all of the judgments of yourself. So when you inhale, I suggest you breathe in all divine forgiveness. So if you can't do it, ask the divine and your angels to help you bring that in. Because sometimes we as humans, right, maybe we haven't learned how to even do that. And when you breathe out, just simply release any unforgiveness, like layers and layers and layers of unforgiveness. When we have unforgiveness, especially of ourselves, because we're the worst judge and critic of who we are and what we've done, again, we don't know everything that happened in the past. But as we uncover these lessons, right, opportunities, different situations, good or bad, that allows us the opportunity to look at, okay, what have we done before? How can I shift that now? Okay, so you have to clear that and give yourself permission to just breathe and be happy. You can even dance, you know, because the sacral chakra is really good with dancing, taking hot showers, really enjoying yourself, even when you eat, like have pleasure when you are eating the food and savoring every bite. So that's the second chakra, really movements and experience. When we start to enjoy, it could be we're sending an email, yet we enjoy sending the email, right? It could be allowing ourselves to just have a conversation, and having a great conversation is good. So we allow things to unfold. Okay, so I hope that helps, Sarah. All right, Shifra has this feeling of where people who will trust me and pay me what I know I'm worth. Okay. Oh, where are the people who will trust you and pay you and know that I am worth? Okay. So Shifra, deep down inside, there's still this sense that you don't quite value and trust yourself. So I know you're a very talented healer. You have helped so many people through your facials, through your access consciousness. There's so many things you've done in the past, yet you haven't really given time to give yourself credit and trusting your gifts and your talents, okay? And it might be helpful to know your human design to really know how to respond, because your head is saying, remember yesterday you were in another show and we cleared your father's fear of you making more money. So once you can be okay with that, right? So that's one stage, and the part now is you. So you don't need any approval from anyone. Like when you become a queen, you don't like ask someone, can you please, am I a queen? Am I a queen? No, you just own the thing. You own the stage, so to speak. That's how you become you, right? No one will crown you. You have to do it yourself. Okay, so just take a deep breath and really bring in your own appreciation, okay? Your own love for yourself, and then release all this mistrust. Because when you're able to release all the times you did not trust yourself in previous lifetimes, so it's not even right now, Shifra, it's past lifetime experiences that you have had a memory that you never trusted yourself because you made the wrong choice, you made the wrong decisions, and you failed. That's what's in your head. So it's never in the head. I'm telling you guys, please don't make decisions from your head because it's never right. Your brain only knows your history. It has nothing to do with the future. It doesn't know anything about the future, and it's afraid to change. So please don't make decisions from there. Okay? Awesome. So I know Sarah's crying and releasing. Good job, Sarah. So that's perfect. That's a very good way of releasing emotions. And as you embody that, right, as you give yourself permission to process energies, emotions, and it could be other people, but in this case, it's hers. It's her lack of ability to forgive who she's been, because she now has to release the old, right? So when the full moon happened, and we really have, like last Monday, we really have to allow ourselves to be in a space of recognizing who we have become. At this stage in the game, it's who you have become. And when you own, like I said, the stage, the title, whatever you want. So if you're a business owner, own it. If you are a mother, own it, right? If you are responsible for who you are, own it. Because no one else is to blame for the choices you've made, except you just didn't know the difference. That was it. So your empowered money breakthrough is money is energy. Energy is unlimited unless you give it away to people that suck the life out of you, to your schedule, right? You multitask or you procrastinate. So every time you hold a decision, if you decided to be undecided, okay, that's still a decision. And I want you to feel what it's like. Just think of two things that you're trying to decide. Am I going to move here or am I going to stay here? Two things, right? Opposites. So what happens is you split yourself in the middle, and so now your energy is divided. So if you're with me right now and you're listening, are you watching this TV show, or are you actually thinking about what am I going to eat later and what am I going to cook? Okay. So now you split it into three different thoughts. So your energy is divided into three different things. That's why we have a schedule. When we allow ourselves to determine what our priorities are and the values that we hold, and we follow those, we honor them, we respect them, and you respect yourself, then everything flows with ease, grace, and flow, right? So when you honor even the commitments you make, if you honor your commitments to yourself, you will actually honor your commitments with other people. Revelation, right? Because you are the magnet of your universe. You are the core. So everything you do bleeds outside of you, your family and your work and your business. So it all starts with us. So if you are able to allow yourself to have ease, grace, and flow, kindness, compassion, and you allow yourself to have energy, right? Then you can attract that who you are, like whatever you want in your life. And if you follow your design, your human design, you will rock it. You really see the difference in how you live your life. Okay. So I got my, I know Amy keeps on going in and out. I'm going to bring her on. She's my virtual assistant, my lovely assistant, Amy Fahim. Hello, Amy. How are you?
Hi, Vivian.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
doing
Thanks for
good.
being
Some
here.
tech difficulties on
Yes,
my
yes,
end, but
yes.
I'm here.
That's okay. Yes, I've actually realized that when we are more, like I said, we're empowered and we just flow, right? We know sometimes things happen and we just move with the flow. That's just how we roll. And that's how we
Hmm.
work well together because we just understand each other. It's like, it's not perfect every time, you guys. It's not perfect. Having TV show has snafus and fun things. So are there any other questions that we have from the audience? About money, what would empower them, what are the things that they feel like blocking them, or maybe you have a question. Go for it. Let's go for that.
Um, there's
Oh, Raquel said hi to us. Okay, cool. Hi, Raquel. Raquel is in Northern California. Thanks, Raquel, for tuning in. Yeah, any other questions or comments? Otherwise, we're going to close our show and we're just going to help them really process what just happened because these are like very out of the box information. And the more you are aware
yeah,
of
so
untruth that you learn, you can unlearn it.
absolutely. So Shifra's saying, I have this feeling of where are the people who will trust me and pay me what I know I am worth?
Right. Yeah, I know I answered her energetically, and I think she's looking for a physical
Oh, okay.
answer. So no problem. So the people that are in your field, I don't know if you are familiar with Ideal Avatar or who's the client that you really wish to serve. I know for a fact that in my business, when I became clear of who is that one person, not 10, not 20 people, who's the one person that's looking for what I offer, then I was able to find them and they found me. It's almost like I became this lighthouse that's like well lit and people just find me everywhere I go. So once you have an ideal client, meaning to say you are able to describe them in detail, who is this person, what's the age, are they married, not married, with children. So you have to decide who you want to hang out with, who you want to give your time, energy, and resources with. And then where do they hang out, right? Are they on Facebook? Are they, well, everybody's kind of online now. Are they on TV? Are they celebrities? Like who do you want to give your time and energy to? Because that's the exchange, right? And they're also looking for you. So it's only one person. So you can talk to them in your sleep, in your dreams. You can visualize them energetically, and you can have this conversation with this person. When you do it from that angle, then you can manifest them to come to you. So obviously that's the first step, but you need to have a container, a money container. What are you offering? And then where do you market? When you know the first step, then you know where to go. If you're not clear, so a lot of people are not clear who are they speaking with, then they go social media, Facebook, YouTube, they go everywhere, right? Email, they go to networking events, but then they're really not clear who they're looking for. So then it becomes a scattered effort, which is a lot of work, and you don't attract those people. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Awesome. All right. I think we've answered all of the questions. Are there any other questions there? Oh, there's a comment that came in right after too. Oh, okay. This money is energy. All right. Okay. So remember, money is energy. Energy is unlimited and you deserve it, right? You have to claim that, your havingness. You have to bring your havingness back, your creativity, your certainty. You gotta be certain. You have to be sure of what you want, because if you don't, the universe will give you everything that you don't want so you can finally figure it out. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And I will see you again next week, same time, 12 o'clock on this My Spiritual GPS. Bye, everyone. Take care.